Sunday morning, YouTubers. It is Sunday's gun day again, and got my cup of coffee. It's not quite as early as I usually am up, but it's still really early. And I have an interesting gun for you guys, as well as a story behind the gun for you today. It is the Phoenix Arms. I guess HP is the initials 22. So, first, let me tell you how I came about having possession of this gun. Our youngest son, who's now 23, just turned 23, has always suffered from ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which if you've known anybody with ADD and ADHD, usually they're pretty short-tempered people. I'm sure there's other things that are involved, other genetics as well, but he's always been a pretty feisty kid, which is actually my primary reason for, until recently, not having guns in the house. Because not only is he has always been prone to a short temper and a hot temper. He's been a lot better, by the way, in recent years, but he's a very smart kid. So there'd be no hiding guns or putting them in safes. He'd figure a way into them. I mean, we're talking about a kid that builds computers and just absorbs information no matter where he gets it from, and remembers it no matter what. So, in fact, I think it wasn't too long ago that he was explaining to my wife how easy my safe was to break into. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's broken into it, tried it, but I don't think he has. But anyway, he decided at 21, he's now 23, to randomly go out and buy this gun. And I really have no idea why. He's never shot a gun, never shown interest in guns. And I didn't actually even know about it at first. It was, he was shown off to one of his older brothers, and they were the ones that came to me and mentioned it because they have the same concerns. I mean, he's not, like I said, he's a lot better, but he still has the occasional moment that I just wouldn't want him having access to a gun, because he wouldn't think about it first. It's quick, hot, and who knows. So I asked him to, and he's never gone shooting at all, really, or fired guns. So I coaxed him into bringing it down to me and explaining that, we'll go to the range at some point and you can learn to properly handle the gun and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, he's just really shown no interest in having it back. So I've hung on to it. We still haven't gone to the range with it, but of course I haven't been to the range much myself. But so, all right. Anyway, so that's how I came about this, having possession of this gun. And except for play, I'll probably never use it much. But it is a Phoenix Arms HP22. I actually have not even disassembled this gun once yet. I just took a brief look at a clip to see if we can attempt it here. Hopefully it doesn't go wrong. I've heard that, it just seems to be a pain. And so we probably won't take it all the way down, but we will try and take it down some. So, let's take a sip of our coffee here. Alright, so, first, the dining table is back to shaking, but see this little clip here? I've already pushed this forward and started the barrel removal because that is a hard thing to grab onto and push forward. Maybe on a new gun it's not, but this was definitely stuck. And you have to, fortunately I do have some nails at the moment that I haven't clipped off that could get in there and grab onto it good. But, so you push that forward, and then this barrel is supposed to pop up. And you gotta be, I'm told, stick your finger in there and hold the spring down, and then pull the barrel out, which actually went smoother than the guy in the videos that I watched. So, so yeah, then you have, you can pull the spring out, I guess, so it doesn't go flying on you. Oh, and you have to have this cocked back. Pull that back. And I think it's, oh, and then you slide that forward. And that comes off. So that wasn't quite as bad as you got all these other little pieces in here that I'm not going to remove. Well, I guess I can, you got that there. I guess I might remove that. But, so then you have the access to the top there. So I think we will stick with that amount, and we'll see if we can put it back together once we brush this off a little bit. All right? Okay, spray everything down here. And he claimed that after he bought it, that he took it to the range and shot it a few times, which would be the only time that we've fired this gun. But I have my doubts. I think he might have been just saying that to satisfy me, but I don't. I guess it doesn't need much. Actually, I mean, if he did, he probably, I mean, he did buy ammo for it, so it's very possible that he, in fact, I actually don't have his box of ammo now that I think about it. I don't think, but I've got the gun. That's the most important part. So, anyway, you guys got anybody out there have similar stories with their kids just randomly buying a gun that you didn't think that they should have yet? Or if you do have kids, what do you have them, again, I know a lot of parents, including my own, did shooting with their own kids and showed them, and, I went to hunter safety class and all of that when I was a kid, but, so, but all kids are different. The two oldest boys, went and got guns. In fact, actually, that's what the oldest boy, him getting his gun, but he also took hunter safety course, I know for sure. And had already done, both of those boys have already done some shooting with some of their older friends. So, and completely different personalities, so never was worried about them. But this youngest one, I think would be alright, but if and I'd be alright with him having this if I went with him several times and made sure he knew how to handle it, and if I knew that it was always kept safe in a safe or something like that when he wasn't using it. But just to randomly have it on him or near him without any training, I just didn't trust. But again, he's gotten much better as an adult, so I may be wrong about that. But when he was younger, he was a handful when he had a temper tantrum. So this is kind of dirty, so I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't know where he got it. Well, actually, no, he got it at. Pretty sure I know the gun shop that he got it at, but I don't know if they do any cleaning themselves on guns when they use guns before they put them in the case for sale after they get them or not, but definitely a little dirty. This is not what I was looking for. This is dry off the outside here. Let's see, do I have a next thing will be cotton stuck on wire. I don't know. We should double check this before we. Might be too big, yeah. That's too big. Let's see. Do we have. This is probably the right. This is probably more of a 22 size here. Yeah. Yeah, obviously Phoenix Arms, if you haven't heard of them, they're a very, very, very cheap gun. Even more so than a High Point or anything like that, but which, by the way, oh man, well, that's not good. My brush has broken off. Let's see if we should be able to push it all the way through though. There we go. Phew. Alright. By the way, I mean, I personally am not against High Points. Actually, I've thought about buying one just to have different calibers to, at a cheap, on the cheap. But, and believe me, I've watched a ton of videos, and really there's, besides maybe cosmetically and weight-wise, they're a little heavy, but as far as a functioning gun, I'm all for somebody getting a High Point if that's all that they can afford. Or in my case, it's just wanting to have extra or other guns in different calibers. You know, there's nothing wrong with being cheap sometimes. But I'm not as familiar with like Phoenix Arms, and then there's the what's the other brand that I was just thought it was at first? Jimenez. And then there's, I guess, Jennings is another one that at least at one point was manufactured cheap. So what's your, what are you guys' opinion on all the cheap guns out there? Like, what is the cheapest gun that you would buy, even if it was just to play around with and plink with? Me personally, I would, like I said, buy a High Point. No problem. In fact, I probably will at some point. Okay. I'll use this. Where'd my spray go? Where did my spray go? There it is. Spray this down again. Okay. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but you do have to have magazine in to disassemble this gun. Okay. Try this off, and then we'll see if we can put it back together. It's not perfect, but I don't usually try and be perfect. Like, there's probably occasions, there's, you know, like my AR with, and my rifles are probably a little bit more detailed each time. But if it's justified, you know, if I fired it a bunch, but for the most part, it's like I get a decent cleaning for the average cleaning, and then if I feel that it's, you know, that's not doing it very well, you know, after a few times of that, if I feel like that things are getting a little bit too built up, then I'll do a little bit more involved cleaning where I might scrape more and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't get too too OCD about it, you know. Alright, so now I'm going to see if the slide will go back on. Again, I've never done this. Okay. Feel like that's probably good. So then the spring goes back in there, and then you have to, there goes the spring. I didn't hold on to the spring. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Found it. Alright, let's try this again. Stick the spring in there. Hook it on. Oops. Yeah, the problem is that it just goes up against a flat piece in there. There's nothing holding the front of that spring. And so you gotta, while you're, while you're getting that barrel back in place, which it's not in place yet. Push it forward a little bit more, I guess. And I guess it does say you should ouch. The spring hurts. Okay. There we go. And that clip actually right there automatically popped back when I got it down. So that's nice that I don't have to force it back in place, because that was a pain to push forward. Now it seems a little bit easier now that we did it once, but first time, if you have a used gun, it might take you a little bit. So, anyway, that is the Phoenix Arm HP22. Let me know if you'd buy one of these just to plink with. Or, if not, what is the cheapest gun that you would use to plink with? But that is Sunday is gun day, and I will see you in the next video. Big Baba out.